Joe Herald, Féile and Féile. What we're doing tonight is our Christmas from a different perspective. We've been tonight's is a spin off from a number of programs that we're doing with young people and local communities. And what we're doing tonight is just a conversation between myself and my guest, who is.
Yeah, my name is Floven Dairo. I'm from the Philippines originally, and I'm here in Belfast for around 18 years now.
Thank you, Floven. So you've just answered my next question. So if you can tell our viewers how long you've been here, and maybe giving them a wee bit of an insight to what life has been like in Ireland for yourself.
No, the community in here is like friendly, and then especially when we found out and we play basketball here in the Grosvenor.
Right.
And in here in the Grosvenor where we start everything and kick out, like it opens the community to us and watch the Irish culture. And we were introduced actually with the Féile and Féile as well. We joined parades as well for the Féile and Féile as well. Before we joined the activities, we have a radio station as well, the Féile FM.
Yeah.
So and then Tina and Belle actually like introduced us. And even I used to write for Andersonstown News introducing the Filipino community,
right,
to the whole community. So I wrote right around 2 years for them, like stories for that I tell stories about Philippines and how we were able to immerse ourselves in the wide community in Belfast. But so far, the friendliness of the local community is kind of help us adjust to this new environment that we're in. And actually, you can even find it in my accent probably now that I might have a bit of an accent. But well, basically, there's some difficulties as well because some people might find us strange, our color, the way we look.
Yeah.
And, so probably some people find it difficult to accept us.
Right.
So that's kind of like a challenge to us. So it took us time to introduce ourselves. So that's why we joined a lot of activities and around there.
So that's what's going. So how are them challenges then? How are we able to overcome them challenges?
Well, actually, I think a smile is very important, and then they know we Filipinos are known for our hard work, and we are called the happy race as well. So even in difficulties, we tend to smile, laugh about it, and it's working the hospital helps as well because you caring for the sick and the elderly of the community, and that's why it's kind of they accept it slowly and slowly. But still, there are some extremes that are we get attacked, our cars are being broken, our doors are being painted or something like that. But as we go along, we just it's part of life probably, and that's it.
Do you enjoy living in Ireland?
Oh yeah. I've traveled a lot here. From Donegal up to down to Cork. Even been to Meissen as well in Bantry.
Right.
So I've been all over. So and then I do my own business now as well.
Yeah. So even your own business, and there's a wee bit of travelling involved in that down south to Dublin and stuff. And you were talking about earlier about fishing and stuff in Killybegs, and so you've seen a fair bit of Ireland.
Oh yeah.
When we were speaking earlier on, and even with Angelo and interviewing him, is it coming to here to Grosvenor just to play basketball had opened up many opportunities, not only for yourself but for your young people to get involved in. What type of opportunities sort of come out of you just coming here to play basketball? Because I think even with sport, people might think, oh, it's just a sport, but it's the stuff that comes off of that, the people you meet, the projects you can go to. What type of stuff have your children been able to get involved in?
Well, I always believer that for you to be accepted and to be with the community, you have to immerse yourself. So other than basketball, we sometimes invite some locals to play basketball with us as well, and sometimes we join the leagues like the Ulster League before, and
Right.
some, and then we there's like our youngsters, we let them join as well in the big
Right.
league. That the
So do we see like your basketball team playing like a Féile select? The staff from Féile having a match maybe one week?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. That's
And you're not competitive, so you're that?
not really. I can throw balls. And then I think at one time as well we participated in some like hurling something,
Right.
and some what do you call it, Gaelic football.
Yeah. Well, in terms of hurling in our own office, I'm the expert. We
Oh,
have
right,
we have a boss who thinks he's the expert, but he's not really. But we'll just let him. We'll let him know he is.
Oh yeah, and then it opened as well because there's a lot of visitors in the center, so they
Right.
know that there's a Filipino community there playing as well, and then they tend to invite us, so we joined some activities of the Féile as well, the parades,
Right. Very good.
like the international food fair and
Yeah.
things like that. So we introduced. At times as well, I'm late.
I'll have a talk with Kevin about that.
I know, but it's still, it's enjoyable getting all the cultures all together, and and I think it's good for the community as well to taste. I think the moment I came here, the only one that sells a different food stuff are Chinese, probably, and Indians.
Right.
But now you could see Mexican, you could see like Vietnamese. There's already
Mhm.
a Vietnamese restaurant as well, and there's like a couple of like restaurants that are opening, and then there's an Asian fusion that introduces not only Chinese, Japanese, and Filipino food as well
Right.
at the same time. So there's like a couple of them now, takeaways.
In terms of, and you touched a bit on culture and stuff, and obviously a part of this program is opening up our viewers
Yeah.
to the culture in the Philippines
Yeah.
and that type of stuff. And obviously, it's coming up to one of our favorite times of year is obviously Christmas.
Yeah.
If you were living back home, how would you be celebrating Christmas?
Well, we're recorded as the longest Christmas in the world. We start putting up trees by September. Well, not with this COVID.
Do you have your tree up now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get two. One for Angela and one for Florence.
Right. So you have a tree for each
Yeah.
child.
So we let them design their own tree,
Right.
and then they like not really competitive one, but at least they can like, this is my own tree, and Florence can express
Amazing.
herself. Yeah.
Very
And
good.
then
How long have you had it up for already?
around 3 weeks now, I think.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
But sometimes, but in the Philippines, yeah, we usually in the malls there's already decoration early as September,
Right.
and then that's it. And we got this novena
Right.
that starts on the 16th of December, and ends up like the Christmas Eve,
Right.
and we got like, so you have to complete that.
How many days?
Yeah, 16 days.
16 days.
Yeah. So it's like a novena, like we do in Clonard.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But we have our own Christmas thing like that.
Very
It
good.
was introduced by the Spanish before, and then we can like dawn mass, we call it, but it's like Simbang Gabi or a night mass or something as well. Sometimes
Very
it's
good.
called, yeah.
So Christmas Day, tell us a wee bit about what does your Christmas Day look
Well,
like?
The biggest event in the Filipino Christmas would be the Christmas, not the Christmas dinner. That's like here.
Right.
We get the Christmas Eve dinner that we have to be staying up to 12 o'clock,
Right.
and then we have to wait 12 o'clock before we eat.
Very
That's
good.
like welcoming the Christmas,
Right.
and then.
And when you do that here, we stay up at 12 o'clock and
Oh
have
yeah,
the food.
yeah,
And
yeah.
very
So
good.
instead of the turkey, we usually have the rolled pork belly,
Right.
because we can afford the big pig. But in the Philippines, we have this big roast pig on the table every Christmas.
Right. Very good.
Yeah.
And I suppose we talked about COVID and young people and stuff, and obviously for yourself a new business adventure, working from the hospital as well.
Yeah.
And how have you found this year, which has obviously been a strange year for a lot of people?
Well, there's a lot of difficulty. First, personally, it's like having like groceries and things like that. Like the movement is very limited, so that's like a kind of like a struggle as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm an outgoing person as well. I used to like travel, drive around, and things like that.
Right.
And then in business-wise, well, I have to work at home basically, and then I have to cut down recruiting to the Philippines as well, because we
Yeah.
usually go home and recruit
Yeah.
nurses and other professions.
So you beacon back to the Philippines once or twice a year, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually sometimes 4 times.
Right.
Yeah, a year.
It's not a holiday, it's work.
It's work. Yeah, you're thinking that I'm in the Philippines and I can go to the beach and have a beer, but well, you can still have a beer in the hotel or in the some
But you're
bars,
working.
But you're working because
working.
you're bringing some Irish employers as well.
Right.
Tag along with you, so you can really like just leave them. And
So you're looking after them and
yes,
looking
looking after them as well. Yeah.
Look, thank you. One of the big, from my own personal point, is that has struck me speaking to both your children
Yeah.
and yourself, is that how much you have immersed yourselves in not Irish culture but local community life and the projects you've got involved with. So yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is one of my first interviews and stuff like this, so I really appreciate your input and stuff, and even Angelo was a credit, and yes, we will have Florence back playing the tin whistle and Angelo playing the drums.
Oh yeah, I always see to it that they immerse themselves, have a bit of an Irish culture, Filipino culture goes together, and even like no other cultures as well, because that's the number one rule to them. Even you don't like the food, just taste it. And if you didn't really like it, then just like say, okay, that's good, but appreciate it in some kind, because they prepared for it, and
So before we go, what about a message to the people of Belfast for Christmas in your own native language?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, we get 200 of those.
Right.
Well, I'll speak there in Tagalog. Sana magkaroon po tayo ng kapayapaan at magandang kalusugan sa gitna nitong pandemya na COVID-19. At sana po ay magkaroon kayo ng masayang Pasko at manigong bagong taon. Maraming salamat po. Yep. So I just told them like they have like peace and healthy in terms of the pandemic and COVID, and then like Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And then thank you.